Yeah, I'm sorry to have to make a video like this under such circumstances, but I've just heard that Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, played for the Lakers from, I believe it was 96 through to his retirement a few years in 2016. He's just passed away. Reports say it was an air crash in around Calabasas, which is in Los Angeles. Some kind of aircraft crash. I don't know if it was plane or helicopter, but it's literally, I've just heard within the past no more than 10 minutes that he's passed away. I'm just making a video in memory to him, and just the video just because I'm absolutely shocked. He's just 41. You know, he has his wife, he has his beautiful daughters, and man. I'm just saying, it's very shocking to hear this news, and I have to make a video because from the perspective of someone who's 37 years of age myself, and he was only a few years older than me. I grew up with him. I remember when I was about 15, I first heard about him. He was actually sponsored by Adidas rather than Nike when he first came out, and he had those commercials on television.
Just believe in yourself.
Thing with Kobe is I've tracked his career for a long time. I used to be really enthusiastic about basketball in the Jordan era in the 90s, right? And the school I went to in North London was a big basketball school, despite the fact that it's London and, England, which was completely dominated by football as the national sport at the time. But my school was big into basketball, so I was into all, the Jordan, the Shaq, the Charles Barkleys, etc., right? But I followed him right when I was leaving school. Then I stopped following basketball, and then I picked up again around 2010. I started following it again, and it's just doubly sad for me because I started to follow him as the man, because he's American, right? But he grew up partly in Italy because his dad was a basketball player. When his dad's career was waning, his dad went to when his dad's career was coming to an end, he went to Italy to play basketball. So he grew up partly in Italy. So he said when he was in Italy, he used to play football and basketball. So I grew up in North London playing football and basketball, and one of my friends who was Italian, he was into football, I was into basketball. So me and him, as a trade-off, we used to bounce between the two sports. So when I heard that about Kobe, it made his upbringing more relatable to mine. I'm just saying it from my perspective. It's not about me. It's about a man who's just passed, a father, an icon who's just passed away. I'm just saying, I'm speaking on it because it's what I was trying to say a moment ago was he was socially awkward a little bit when he first came into the league. But as he got older, he developed more of a personality to the extent where I'd say he wasn't wearing his humanity on his sleeve, but he was more transparent with his humanity towards the end of his career.
Players at this stage of their career, they pop up Achilles, and the pundits say they never come back the same. So I can hear it already, and it's pissing me off right now, just thinking about it. So
this isn't the last game that we'll see you play.
Really?
Well, no, you said I'm not trying to be rude.
Really?
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to.
It's appropriate that you asked that question from down there.
Thank you, Kobe. That's Kobe Bryant, guys.
His wit started to shine through, his sense of humor, his charisma, his charm. So I see him as a person. So, just to see like that he's dead. Sorry, like, I don't mean to be anyway, just to hear that the guy's dead. Yeah. It's the most surreal thing ever. I mean, the whole world's been going crazy the past few weeks. The infection in China, the Brexit thing, the Megxit thing. Like, the world's, from a UK perspective, the world's really crazy right now. Obviously, there's way more serious things going on than one person dying with the infection in China and so on. But, be that as it may, this comes as a major shock. So, I just want to send a tribute out to Kobe, the memory of Kobe Bryant, to his friends, his family, his survivors, etc. Man, I don't know, R.I.P to Kobe Bryant. It's just a tragedy that he's died from a fucking aircraft crash. How can he... I don't know, like... You know, he's healthy. He's in shape. He was trying to move on from his, you know, basketball career to the next chapter. He was doing script writing or something of that nature, I believe. So, you know, the way life is so precious and fragile and it can be taken away from you in a heartbeat. Man, like, this is a guy who still had the rest of his life ahead of him. 41 in 2020 is relatively young still. You know, this isn't hundreds of years ago where that might have been your life expectancy. It's not, he's still got a big chunk of his life ahead of him and it's just been taken away. So, I'm really shocked. I can't believe the news. I'm just going to say R.I.P to Kobe Bryant, and, you know, I hope his daughters can pull through this. Yeah, this is a quick little interjection. This is a second recording, but for the same video. Unfortunately, there's since I first recorded, I've heard some more bad news that among the dead in the helicopter, it was a helicopter crash, I can confirm, but also beyond Kobe Bryant himself dying in the helicopter crash, his 13-year-old daughter was also killed in the crash. So I'm a bit more emotionally stable myself, but the news is even more tragic than initially heard, because you see, the thing with Kobe Bryant, he had all these daughters, right? I mean, he just had a recent born, and you can tell obviously he wanted a son. He's had all these daughters, he'd like a son, but he was a strong father figure with all these daughters, and you could see they were fundamentally stable, balanced, good kids. So I'm just saying now, after hearing, not only has he passed, and one of his daughters has passed, so the trauma for his, you know, remaining offspring. I mean, I've heard this from psychologists even say that a woman's self-esteem comes from her father. So I could see the way these girls were. These were good girls, man. These were good, you know, they had a strong masculine father figure in their life, a hands-on father. So, you know, the fact that you know, he's gone now, you think they could have a 80 degrees turnaround in upbringing. They could go from having this really loving, stable upbringing, at least it looks that way from the outside, to having some messed up, traumatic upbringing and being messed up, psychologically fucked. I mean, they'll have the financial resources to maybe not happen. You just hope they don't get too screwed up, because he was an example in this stupid postmodern era of, you know, the nuclear family being eroded. He was an example of a strong man staying by his kids. And I've heard the argument that oh well, if a man is a full-time parent, that's a given, not a bonus, as in it's not a big deal. Actually, it is a big deal. Actually, it is a bonus, not a given in this era, you know, because I'm all for this 21st century, post 20th century revival of the nuclear family, personally, you know. So anyway, it's a little interjection, but it's really sad. It's really sad because I saw the love. He was a real hands-on dad, and I know how there's so many, you know, girls these days who've got mad screwed up daddy issues, you know. But you say, okay, well, this guy is doing the right thing. He's putting in the work in terms of being a father, just like he put in the work, you know, when he was on the court. You know, he had that surreal work ethic. That he was like another Michael Jordan. Anyway, I'll finish up. I'll finish up with the I'm gonna cut back to the first video. All right, man. That's me out. You know, that I don't have anything else to say right now. Just in respect and love to the memory of Kobe Bryant.